Let's talk about this Funky Dineva versus Foxo Tea-GIF. If this is not the perfect example of F around and find out, okay? So basically, the other day, Funky Dineva went live while Tea-GIF was, going on at 8 o'clock. And when I tell you Funky Dineva basically took all of Tea-GIF watchers and brought him to his site, baby, when I tell you he had 14,000 people in the chat to Fox sold 3.9. Are you kidding me? When I tell you that's petty at its best, that is petty at its best. Okay, so basically, Funky Dineva was with Foxo Tea-GIF, which is that 3-panel show, giving all of their opinions about all of today's hottest topics. It's with Claudia Jordan and Al Reynolds, and the three of them were magic. But no one can, disregard or without a doubt say that Funky Dineva was not the star of the show. Funky Dineva, with his comedic banter, with his knowledge, with his flair, he was the star of the show. So basically, Funky Dineva stated that he left because he wasn't getting his coin. And so, he did a 6-month contract with them. And when it was time to re-sign the contract, they weren't trying to give him the more money. Because basically he said that when they were a 2-a-week show, that they were getting paid more. But when they went to 5 days, they put him at a lower pay rate. And so, being and seeing that Foxo saw that he was the star of the show, they still didn't want to pay him for what he was worth. So he said, okay, bet, I'm leaving. So he left with all of, his dignity, his grace. He was cool with everybody and everything was all good. So apparently, based on from deductive reasoning and analyzing and critical thinking, based on that he went live while Foxo Tea-GIF was live, and he started dropping these little hints like, people don't want to leave me alone. People acting like they my friend to my face and then shading me behind my back, this, that, and the other. So everyone's put two together that him and Claudia Jordan have some kind of beef, right? So what happened was all this came about when they decided to have the guest host Flame Monroe. So Funky Dineva has since said that he doesn't have beef with Flame Monroe, but while he was on Fox Soul, he said that would never be on the show while he was there. And he wasn't. But as soon as Funky leaves, they decide to put Flame Monroe in the seat. So I'm assuming Funky Dineva felt a way about that, and I feel like Claudia Jordan had a lot to do with that by getting Flame Monroe to come and sit in Funky Dineva's, seat. And so what Funky did was he said, I'm gonna one up you. I'm gonna show you who the star of the show was. So he went live while Fox Soul was live, and he got 14,000 viewers, 19,000 viewers, to their 3,000, 4,000 to let them know who's the star. So what can we take from this? See, I like to always pull and look at the bigger picture of these type of things and look at the deeper meaning of certain things. And this is what I took from this. Go where you are loved. Go where you are appreciated. Know your worth. Know what you have to offer. Demand what your work is worth. You know what I'm saying? Don't settle for less. Don't sit in spaces where people aren't appreciating your talent. People aren't appreciating what you bring to the table. Because at the end of the day, Funky Dineva knows his worth, knew his worth. He let them know and said, hey, this is what I deserve to get paid. They said no. He said, okay, well, let me go elsewhere. And so then what he did was he decided to bet on himself. He said, instead of me trying to get with the organization and bring them up, let me take my own situation and bring myself up. Let me go on my own platform and watch me work. This man went from getting the highest that Foxhole probably has gotten in a live chat was maybe 6,000 to 7,000 viewers at one time. He got on his first live. After that, he got 14,000 live viewers in the chat. On the second time he went live, he got 19,000 live viewers on the chat. So he said, let me bet on myself. And that's what you always do. You always have to bet on yourself. You always have to say, hey, this is what I can bring. This is what I'm worth. This is what I'm going to do for myself. And that's what you have to do. You have to let people know. You have to show people better than you can tell them. So, I just want to know what y'all think. This is a lot to unpack. Another thing is I want to take from this is that, or that I took from this, that is, it is a sad thing that, a lot of times with the shows, like with this group of people, things can't work out. That was very similar to what happened with the Queen's Court with T.S. Madison and Kaya, which was like cultural, just like iconic show on YouTube, but then they fell out, and then T.S. Madison went her way, Kaya went her way. And this is kind of the same thing with Fox Soul, where this was like a comedic trio. This was what a culture. People tuned in. People were so happy to hear their opinions and see what was going on with them, and get their opinions of stuff. And so it was unfortunate that it couldn't work out. Maybe one day, we never know, it can in the future, who knows. But at the end of the day, like I said, what you take from this is that where you aren't appreciated, you go elsewhere. You go where you're appreciated, and you build yourself up, and you bet on yourself. That's the whole point behind it. Y'all drop down in the comments, let me know what y'all think. Thanks for watching.